Have you ever walked into a place and instantly felt the urge to leave, not because of how it looked or smelled, but because of something deeper, something invisible? Chosen ones often carry this unexplainable sense, a spiritual radar, if you will, that guides them away from places where their energy isn't meant to stay. It's not about fear, it's not about logic, it's a soul-level knowing. These places could seem ordinary to everyone else, but to the chosen ones, they just don't feel right. And more often than not, they leave without needing to explain why. This video will take you through 8 powerful places chosen ones instinctively avoid, not out of superstition, but from a deeply intuitive sense that their spirit must be protected. If you've been feeling like you're different, like you've been guided, warned, or nudged in mysterious ways, you're in the right space. If this message has reached you at the perfect time in your journey, type 1111 in the comments to receive divine blessings. Also, don't forget to subscribe. This channel is a sanctuary for spiritual warriors, seekers, and awakened souls. Let's begin. 1. Crowded, chaotic places with no higher purpose. Chosen ones by nature are deeply sensitive to the energy that surrounds them. Unlike most people who can blend into a crowd or lose themselves in loud environments, chosen ones often find themselves feeling overwhelmed or energetically suffocated in places that lack higher meaning or spiritual alignment. Environments like wild parties, chaotic nightclubs, overly congested shopping malls, or even loud sports arenas may feel like a direct attack on their senses. It's not that they dislike people or reject the idea of socializing, quite the opposite. Many chosen ones are deeply compassionate and capable of profound connection. However, their nervous systems are often attuned to subtleties that others miss. Undercurrents of fear, restlessness, anxiety, or even masked pain. In these chaotic places, the spiritual static is so loud that it drowns out the gentle whispers of their inner voice, their intuition, and their connection to higher consciousness. While others may view these environments as fun, thrilling, or energizing, the chosen one often sees them as disorienting. Even when they try to engage, something inside resists, an unshakable feeling that they're out of alignment. They might make an appearance out of courtesy or curiosity, but they'll often find an excuse to leave early. It's not about being antisocial, awkward, or shy. It's about protecting their energetic field. Chosen ones thrive in spaces where their spirit can expand, where silence and depth are honored, and where authenticity replaces performance. They need places where their energy can breathe, not be bombarded. 2. Hospitals and medical institutions without a personal reason. While hospitals are necessary institutions of healing and care, they also carry a heavy energetic atmosphere that many spiritually attuned individuals, especially chosen ones, find difficult to bear. Walking through the halls of a hospital can feel like entering a thick cloud of collective fear, grief, anxiety, and emotional trauma. These are places where life and death intersect daily, where cries of sorrow echo in the walls, and where many spirits linger between worlds. Chosen ones, being highly empathic, often pick up on this unspoken spiritual residue. They may feel drained, dizzy, or emotionally heavy without knowing exactly why. Even if there's no visible distress around them, their intuition and inner senses pick up on the subtle imprints left by those who have suffered or passed. It's not that they reject modern medicine or the concept of healing. In fact, many believe deeply in holistic, energetic, and preventive wellness, but they instinctively gravitate toward spaces that promote balance and harmony, like nature, sacred spaces, or wellness centers that focus on energy alignment and natural healing. They often view health not just as the absence of disease, but as a state of spiritual, emotional, and physical coherence. Unless visiting for a personal reason, like supporting a loved one or needing care themselves, chosen ones typically avoid hospitals and similar institutions. Their spirit whispers that there are more aligned ways to maintain health, ones that nurture the soul as much as the body. Their avoidance isn't rooted in fear, it's rooted in discernment. 3. Cemeteries and graveyards. Cemeteries, by their very nature, are places that hold immense spiritual weight. While society designates them as peaceful and respectful spaces to honor the dead, chosen ones often experience a deeper, more complex response. For them, graveyards are not simply quiet places. They are energy fields dense with spiritual residue, echoes of lives once lived, and in some cases, unrested spirits. Chosen ones are often deeply connected to the spirit realm, their ancestors, and the unseen world. However, this connection doesn't mean they are drawn to places of death. In fact, their spiritual sensitivity means they feel the emotional weight of such places in an amplified way. Walking through a graveyard can be like walking through layers of sadness, unfinished stories, or ancient grief. It's not fear that keeps them away, it's reverence and energetic respect. They recognize that these are sacred grounds, not spaces for lingering or casual presence. They may visit when necessary, such as during funerals, rituals of remembrance, or to pay respects to loved ones who have passed. But once the act of honoring is complete, they tend not to linger. Their spirit instinctively knows that while death is a natural transition, these grounds are not places where the living are meant to dwell for long. Instead, chosen ones prefer to commune with their ancestors through prayer, meditation, dreams, or sacred rituals, not necessarily by standing among headstones. Their connection to the beyond transcends physical locations. For them, real presence doesn't require proximity. It requires intention. 4. Gossip-filled environments. While gossip may seem like harmless chatter or idle entertainment to many, chosen ones experience it very differently. For those spiritually attuned, words are not just sound, they are energy, intention, and vibration. Gossip-filled environments, whether they exist in a workplace break room, a family gathering, or an online group chat, emit a frequency of judgment, deception, and negativity. Chosen ones are deeply uncomfortable in these spaces. The moment the conversation shifts from meaningful exchange to backbiting, slander, or idle speculation about others, their internal alarm goes off. They feel the spiritual fog creeping in, a kind of energetic contamination that clouds clear thought and disturbs inner peace. For the chosen one, participating in gossip is not just morally questionable, it's spiritually damaging. Even being a passive listener can feel like a betrayal of their values. Gossip doesn't just harm the person being talked about, it also pollutes the speaker and listener. It lowers the collective vibration of the space and invites more toxicity. Chosen ones are guided by a sense of truth and integrity. When they find themselves in a space that thrives on lies, assumptions, or character assassination, they quietly remove themselves, not because they are better than others, but because their soul refuses to engage in falsehood. They understand that alignment with truth often means walking alone. They would rather sit in silence than be part of a crowd that gains power through tearing others down. Their peace is too valuable, and their spirit too wise to be sullied by low vibrational talk. 5. Certain religious buildings that lack spirit. Chosen ones are often deeply spiritual individuals, guided not by doctrine but by direct inner experience and divine intuition. While some may assume that all spiritual people feel at home in churches, mosques, temples, or synagogues, the truth is far more nuanced. Chosen ones can feel just as alienated in a religious building as they might in a shopping mall if the space lacks genuine spiritual presence. It's not the religion itself they avoid, it's the energy of the space. Some houses of worship, though built for sacred purpose, may be steeped in judgment, dogma, or performance. Instead of feeling elevated, the chosen one feels confined. Instead of communion, they sense control. When a building becomes more about ritual than revelation, more about fear than faith, they feel it instantly. They know when the divine is absent, and their spirit refuses to pretend. Chosen ones don't need elaborate rituals or ornate altars to feel God's presence. They've felt it in a sunrise, a child's laugh, the silence of meditation, or the stillness of the forest. When they walk into a religious institution, they aren't looking for rules, they're looking for resonance. If they don't feel it, they leave, not out of rebellion but out of loyalty to the divine frequency they've come to trust. They understand that true worship doesn't require walls, and while they respect all sincere seekers, they will never trade authenticity for acceptance. Their church is where the spirit is real, wherever that may be. 6. Places of past trauma. For chosen ones, certain locations are not just physical spaces, they are energetic imprints, living memories encoded into the environment. These places, often tied to deep emotional or spiritual trauma, can trigger a profound reaction even without conscious memory. It might be a childhood home filled with emotional neglect, a school where they were misunderstood, a city where everything fell apart, or even a random street where something painful once occurred. These spaces carry more than memories, they hold echoes. Even when everything looks physically unchanged, the energy lingers like a ghost. The spiritually sensitive can feel the heaviness in their chest, the tension in their body, or a subtle urge to flee. Their soul recognizes the battlefield even if their mind has tried to forget. Chosen ones carry not only personal wounds but often ancestral and karmic ones as well. There's a deep knowing within them that some places represent chapters they've already closed, lessons they've already learned. And while society may encourage facing the past or going back to make peace, the chosen one knows that true healing doesn't always mean returning to where the pain occurred. In many cases, it means choosing not to go back. It means honoring how far they've come and recognizing that their spirit has outgrown the place that once held them captive. Avoiding these places isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the soul saying, "We've done our work here. Let's not reopen wounds just to prove we've healed. Let's move forward." Free. 7. Shopping centers during sales frenzy or Black Friday. To the average person, Black Friday and clearance chaos are thrilling, but to a chosen one, these environments feel like energetic war zones. There's a spiritual heaviness in places driven by desperation, greed, and impulse. The stampede for deals, the frenzy for material gain, it all screams disconnection. Chosen ones sense this immediately. Their nervous system tightens, their intuition flares up, and their soul urges retreat. These events don't just drain your energy, they lower your frequency. A chosen one doesn't chase the illusion of more, they seek what aligns. If they must shop, they do it with peace, not panic. They choose quality over quantity, intention over impulse, and calm over chaos. Simplicity is sacred to them, and they'd rather wear the same clothes for years than sell their peace for a discount. 8. Homes or buildings that feel off for no clear reason. Energy doesn't lie, and chosen ones feel it instantly. A place can look perfect on the surface, clean, well-decorated, even welcoming, but if the frequency is off, they feel it in their bones. Maybe there was trauma in that space, toxic energy left behind, or just an unnatural coldness lingering in the air. Chosen ones don't need to explain it logically, they just know. They've left gatherings early, cut off sleepovers, or cancelled bookings because something in the environment felt spiritually off. It's not fear, it's discernment. They trust that gut feeling like a compass. To them, peace is more important than politeness. If the energy feels wrong, they don't argue with it. They simply walk away. No drama, just alignment. The path of a chosen one is not always visible, even to themselves, but the soul knows. Their life is guided not by maps or logic, but by intuition, energy, and divine timing. If you found yourself avoiding certain places without ever knowing why, that's not weird, that's wisdom. You are being protected. Trust that guidance, even when you can't explain it. This is the Alchemy of Awareness channel. If this message resonated with your soul today, type 1111 in the comments and claim your divine blessing. Let the universe know that you are listening. And remember, you are not alone on this path. Subscribe and join our community of awakened spirits. We are walking this journey together, one intuitive step at a time. Until next time, protect your energy, follow your intuition, and keep rising. Thank you for watching.